Hey golfers, Tony here. Welcome to 2022 and my new series. I'm titling it The ABCs of the Golf Swing. And it's how the arms work, how the body works to control the club to produce your best shots. We're going to do a combo package in these videos. The first part is going to be how I would teach it, how we simplify the motion, reduce the thinking so you can perform better. Second part, we're going to reverse engineer the golf swing. We're going to take a look at some other tour players and a lot of information, digest it, analyze it, come up with the most efficient way to swing a golf club. And that's going to be the second part. But again, remember, the more you think, the poorer you're going to perform. We want to be athletes and have an athletic type of mindset. So let's get to work. Hey, golfers, let's get into what the club needs to do in order to hit the ball dead straight. I think the best description is Dr. Kwon's functional swing plane and his research showing that the club does not stay on a plane. It actually swings on a helical trajectory. And what the functional swing plane is basically this area, and I'm going to bring this up from here up to here to kind of demonstrate it, is this area from, in this case, waist high through waist high, and just a little short of it, through the ball. But this is where the club does stay on a plane more, or can stay on a plane more. A lot of times it won't. It's still working off this helical trajectory thing. And that, but right here, we can kind of think of this as being on plane. We can then start controlling the club face better and be more consistent with our ball striking. And got a little device here to kind of illustrate that. If you think about hammering a nail, and if there's a wall right here, in this case I'm hammering a nail this way, I want to go ahead, and as I get this lined up, I'm driving this into it. And you can kind of think of it as, you know, if I use a hammer, I'm driving that into the nail. I got to have my alignments correct. I'm not going to get the shaft to be rotating a lot. Okay, why? If I'm hammering and I'm twisting this, now that club face is all over the place, I'm never going to be consistent. So this is a good kind of a first drill, is just getting comfortable with this. And you can just feel your body kind of release through that. And what happens with the hands and arms, the wrists are going to work into this fashion, or your trail wrist, that's extension and that's flexion. So your trail wrist or trail hand and arm swings more this way, where your lead arm, as it goes back, starts bringing that club up. And that's what creates that helical trajectory, or the corkscrew. That's another way of thinking about it. So a good drill to kind of help develop this delivery of this club into the ball, we talked about, is this, just getting comfortable with that. But then also doing it here. And a good thing to do is, obviously, you should always have your alignment sticks out. And I got this fairly with the camera, maybe a little bit off. But getting now, when I take this back, and a good way of taking it back is I like to take it back with my trail arm and let that set. Now shaft's parallel, you see that toe down, because why? If I'm standing up, it'd be toe up, I'm bent over, it rotates it, that keeps it nice and square. And so then we get that club in that position. So from here, now I can deliver that club right into the ball. And that helps produce those straight shots. So again, we're reducing the shaft rotation with this. What does that look like face on? Go this way. Okay. Shaft parallel to the ground, parallel to my target, and then through the shot. Okay, so learn how to control that club through the functional swing plane first. Master that for the season, and you're going to play some great golf. Then go ahead and take the club back, allowing that trail wrist to get into extension, which is that folding back on itself. So when the shaft is parallel to the ground, it's also parallel to my target line, and that toe of that club is facing down a little bit. That just reduces the amount of shaft rotation we'll need through the ball. So if you think about it, I'm hammering, I'm not going to be rotating the shaft of that hammer. So this allows us to keep a very square club face through the ball. And so a lot of times you can actually set that, preset that, get that feeling, then go ahead and make your swing and hit the shot. In this case, I just made the swing, but what we're going to see, if the club's on a good path, and we get it right about there, there we are, we matched it up. Now as that club comes into the ball, we can see that ball take off right on the target line. Right now, we don't have to worry about the club face rotation or anything else because we have a nice square club face, so that ball is going to go nice and straight. So this is the first drill, that preset drill you want to master. Okay, golfers, let's take a look at a draw bias swing on tour. You can also hit fades from here depending on the club face. But this third position in here, Rory's in that P6 position where that club shaft is parallel to the ground. You can see it just inside his hands, and that will produce that draw bias shot as long as we keep the club face square to the intended target line. So that's about a nice 2 to 3 degrees. We like that position right there. Now what I'm going to show you next is another drill that you can use to really develop this right arm and trail arm through the ball. And getting a feel for that, it's not easy to do. You can always, I recommend teeing it up. But that will give you a feel for how to make that club really come into that ball nice and square. And obviously then the body rotates. And that body rotation is really something that's going to help keep that club face square without those hands flipping over. Okay, golfers, next video we're going to get into how the body works through the golf swing to produce your best shots. Stay tuned. Later.